Hi, everybody. This is Sarah from the Large Animal Research Station again. And today I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration on muskox husbandry and handling. So we're going to bring in some of our young babies named Luna and Dobby, and I'll show you basically the routine that they go through coming into the barn. And this is just basic handling that we do to prep them to get ready for kivia combing. Okay, okay. So you can see, you gotta lift it up. Dobby is ready and waiting. So with most of our young animals, we train them to some type of recall. This one is a cowbell. And I know it's a big step. We ring the bell and that signals them that it's time to leave the pen and head into the barn. But it's a big step. We've gotten a lot of snow recently, so it's almost too much for the little muskox. There's Luna. Come on, kiddo. Dobby's going. And the main thing that we try to practice here is keeping things as low stress as possible. We let them take their time. If there is something like a lot of snow in their way, we'll let them work out the best way they want to go. Over it, around it, through it. We haven't been able to dig out everything just yet. There's Luna has made it over. We'll just kind of walk behind them. Luna and Dobby are separated from the rest of the cows right now just because Luna has been having a bit of a hard time this fall. You can see she's a little bit smaller than Dobby, but we're hoping that she is on the mend. So these guys don't have a far walk to go, but we just walk them in. And when they get behind the barn, there is a treat waiting for them in their buckets. And then we just shut them in and wait. Okay, so we are in the barn and the two muskox are behind eating their snack. And so pretty much what we do is we give them a treat once they get behind there. They get a chance to eat it, and then we just wait for them to self-load one at a time into our muskox stanchion. So this is our handling stanchion. It's just a modified bison chute that is pretty robust. But you can see that is the head gate area. You can see we have lots of access to access their sides, their bodies, so we can comb their kiviot. And so they come in through the back and then they go out the front. So we'll give them a minute to come in. Okay, you can see Luna has made it inside. You can also see that it is a bit small for our younger animals. Oh, well, we have gained a little bit of weight, which is good for us. And then now that she's in here, we're going to give her a large portion of her daily grain ration. So this is kind of how we start getting them used to being handled and touched. The calves, they'll come through multiple times a week and eat a portion of their grain ration. And really, we just want them to get used to being touched. She's like, I just want to eat my snack. So that as they get older, in the springtime, we'll be able to comb their kiviyet. And what we use to comb them are these Afro Pick combs. Very nice. Now I will say, I think with any fiber animal, you know, you have to put time into their handling so they get comfortable with it. These guys in particular, since the kiviyet is not sheared off, it's combed out. That's kind of a difficult thing to get an animal accustomed to, because, you know, right now their guard hairs are very short, but as they get older, their guard hairs are going to be very long, covering up their knees, and that's a lot of hair to comb through. And so it's a bit, kind of think about like your child, your toddler, you know, nobody really likes to have their hair brushed when it's tangly. So that's kind of something we try to be, you know, we do get them used to being touched, and that's a big portion, but getting them used to having their hair combed, you have to always remember when you're actually combing, they're gonna have a limited time frame for how long you can comb within a day. And it kind of depends on an animal. Some are good for like half an hour, you know, some you get like 15, 20 minutes. A lot of that also depends on how easy their kiviyet is coming out, and also how tangly their guard hairs are. So, okay. Now their guard hair, you might not think is super important, but it is actually very important to, you know, keeping the kiviyet clean and dry. And guard hair that is in good condition is really tied into their diet. So musk oxen are really sensitive to different trace mineral deficiencies. So what Luna is eating now is actually some deer ration, which is what we feed our reindeer, and then it's a ration called Muskox Basic, which is something all of our muskox get, and it's essentially like a multivitamin for them. And then they get ad-lib fed access to hay. So diet is really key for any fiber animal, but especially for these guys. You can see Dobby is waiting semi-patiently for his turn. But, yes. So when it comes to their handling, you know, this, we want them nice and calm. We want them okay with being touched. And so the next stage for Luna and Dobby and the animals that are this age would be then we're going to start getting them to eat their grain in front of the head gate. So this is the head gate area. And this is how we get them used to voluntarily head gating for us. Right now they're a little small and their heads would just slip right through, opened or closed. So what we do is we get them to stand perfectly with their bucket. We'll put the bucket here. Luna hasn't moved to this stage. And then we'll sit here with them while they eat and make sure that they don't step forward the head gate. The head gate will be open. And then they'll do that for about a year or two. And then we'll start actually closing the head gate on their neck. And closing their head gate on the neck doesn't actually touch their neck. It just means they can't back out. And so most of our adults now have been trained to voluntarily head gate. So that means when they come in, like Luna gets her bucket here, their bucket is in front. They just walk in, put their head in, start eating, and we shut the head gate on them. And that's their normal. And these guys really thrive on having a strong and consistent routine. So I think that's probably the case for most animals. And so when Luna and Dobby were younger, we just transitioned them to coming through the big muskox stanchion, 2 months ago or so. And so when they're little babies, we have a mini goat stanchion that's basically the same design as this, but it just fits the calves better. So these guys have been doing some form of this routine since the time they're, about a month old. So we start pretty early with them and just try to be as consistent as we can as they get older. Okay. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to a little brief demo about how we handle our animals here, and kind of how we work up to the process of actually combing their kiviyet. If it was springtime, it'd be nice to show you how we comb our kiviyet, but we do have some videos of that, so I think I'll probably just edit it on after this so you can see the actual combing process. Nice and gentle. Get a video of her like eating while we do this. You're doing so good.